CKNW.
Tonight's the night the Vancouver Canucks play their first NHL game, meeting the Los Angeles Kings here at the Coliseum. Coach Hal Lako talks about it in a moment.
Good evening, everybody. This is Al Davidson with Danny Galiivan and Jim Robson, welcoming you to the National Hockey League and its play in the city of Vancouver. And Danny Galiivan has been around hockey for many a year, Danny. But this is a first for you. It has to be, with another Canadian city entering the National Hockey League.
Al, this is what has to be termed, of course, to use a bit of a cliche term, a historic moment here in Vancouver, because, as you say, this is the first game for the Vancouver Canucks here in the National Hockey League. And these two teams here tonight, Los Angeles and Vancouver, will kick off the 1970-71 edition of the National Hockey League. I've been in Vancouver since Tuesday, and I have been most impressed with the enthusiasm of the people generally and the great work being done by the officials of the Vancouver Canucks team, right from the president down. And if this enthusiasm continues, then the success of this club, of course, is assured.
You might say that this is a Vancouver show tonight with Juliet and the chief official here tonight, Lloyd Gilmer, is also a Vancouverite. Now I guess Bud Foyle and his crew would say you could make it a perfect Vancouver night tonight, Danny, if the Canucks came up with a win.
They're going to have the support of this crowd of over 15,000 here tonight. And in a moment or two, the fortunes and the pattern of this hockey game, the first of the 1970-71 season, will begin to unravel. The officials tonight, Lloyd Gilmore is the referee, Malcolm Ashford and Neil Armstrong are the linesmen. The goalie for Vancouver tonight is George Gardner. He's been as hot as a firecracker in the preseason games. He's got a new lease on life, a new attitude. And for Los Angeles, we're going to have Denny DeJordy in goal. Darryl Sly and Mark Rayholm are on defense for Vancouver. Boudria on one wing. Boudria goes to center. Popeil on left wing and Pema on the right side. Now Pulford goes to center. Lonsberry and Flat on the wing. From the face-off, Price from the Los Angeles line knocked it to center. Popeil clearing it in there, and it's trapped behind DeJordy by Price. Boudria steals it. He tries to center it out. He's jostled in on the boards, and here's Pulford rolling it out toward the line. Lonsberry clearing it down on the right side. Flett was bumped. It's called on the offside. And the face-off will be just inside the Los Angeles blue line. The dimensions here at the Coliseum, 200 by 85. Face-off outside the Los Angeles line. Rayholm clearing it over to Sly. He shoots it in, and the Canucks race in after it. Boudria on the board against Cahan. Pulford moved in there too. Darryl Sly and Mark Rayholm for Vancouver move up on the points at the Los Angeles line. Now it's back to Rayholm. A weak shot. It's knocked down by Cahan. He's bumped there at the line by Popeil. Vancouver clearing it back in there. It's held against the mesh by Price. Jose Pema did some shoving. Pema, of course, the former Philadelphia Flyer. So we're going to have a change of players now, and the first 50 seconds of this hockey game have gone into the record books. Nothing significant has happened in the way of statistics. No penalties, no goals. Now we have for Vancouver their big line. Kurtenbach at center. Mackey on one wing, Hall on the other. And for Los Angeles, we're going to have Mickey on the right side. Labossiere was at center. He's moved out of there by the official. And Robinson on left wing. Pat Quinn playing up with Doak for Vancouver on the Los Angeles line for the face-off. Kurtenbach on the boards into the corner to Murray Hall. Back to Kurtenbach. He's turning. It's knocked off his stick by Murat. Now Kurtenbach jammed in on the boards by Lavoisier. Quinn keeping it in there for Vancouver. They have the pressure on. Out on the left side. Robinson cleared it to center for Los Angeles. Kurtenbach ridden in on the boards, but knocked it back into the LA zone. So far, Vancouver has been the aggressor. Now in on the left side. Robinson took the shot wide. Out comes Los Angeles. Kurtenbach feeding it to Hall. He missed it at center. He's bumped heavily by Murat. Here's Kurtenbach taken in on the boards by Lavoisier. Now it's Mickey starting out for Los Angeles ahead to Robinson. Robinson cutting in on his wrong wing. Puts on the brakes. Centers it. Back to Murat. He winds up for the shot. Doak got in front of it and deflected it. And that was a great setup for Murat. But Doak, who has been fine in his performance for Vancouver, got in front of it. So the score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. This is NHL hockey from Vancouver. From the face-off in the Vancouver zone, they start out. Corrigan clearing it into Cullen. The pass right in front of the net. And Danny Johnson missed a great scoring opportunity for Vancouver. Los Angeles clearing it into the center ice area. They have Joyal on with Byers and Bob Berry. Price covering up. Now it's Berry bumped, but he gets it to Price in behind the Los Angeles goal. Danny Johnson, who missed that fine scoring opportunity, tied up Price. And now this game is going along at a fine pace. Certainly is, and as you mentioned in the early going, the Canucks seem to have the edge, but of course it's a scoreless tie. Young Dale Talon is up on the point, along with Barry Wilkins for Vancouver. Now is Joyal coming out with Barry and Byers over the line, and that's nullified on an offside. That was a dangerous-looking rush for the Kings. Joyal, of course, one of the real speedsters in the National Hockey League, and he had these two rugged wingmen going in, Barry and Byers. Price slapping it from center. Barry Wilkins takes it in behind Gardner, feeds it off to Talon. Talon failed to set up Cullen on the pass, and down the ice it goes. Into the corner, Barry got away from an intended check by Corrigan. Now Price getting it back to the line. It stopped there. Cullen fed it back. No one there to get it. Joyal out. He hits the Vancouver line, takes the long shot, but that was a tricky shot. Now there's a vicious body belt on Cullen. This belt back to hand. Called on the offside. That was perhaps the most solid check of the night. A hand on Cullen just inside the Vancouver line. 3 minutes and 28 seconds have gone by in the first period. Los Angeles nothing, Vancouver nothing. Boudria on with Popiel and Payma for the Canucks. There's an offside called against L.A. And the Kings. They have a forward line that looks something like this. They have Flett. This year he's wearing number 17 instead of 9. He's out there with Fulford and Lonsberry. Now Rayom ahead to Boudria. He takes the shot right on. It's kicked out by DeJordy. A quick shot by Boudria, who went in on that left side. Fulford being watched by Boudria. To Marat, back to Pulford, out with Lonsberry at center. A dump shot by Pulford. He was bodied then by Rayom. It was right on the target, the shot, handled easily by Gardner. Now Payma at center for Vancouver, winds up for the shot. Kick to the side by DeJordy easily. Now the Kings getting it out to center. There's Flett. Knocking it into the corner. Marat racing in there against Darryl Slide. Goes to the other side. Boudria against Lonsberry. Fleck gets it. It's off a stick. Goes over the board into the bench. And let's see. Gilmore is coming over in the penalty box. And there's going to be a penalty. The score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. More hockey action in a moment. And Pulford is given a penalty for deliberately delaying the game. It was he who knocked that puck over the board. So it looks this year as if they're going to call him according to the book. So Vancouver now with the first break in the hockey game with Pulford off. And they have on the power play Kurtenbach going to center. Murray Hall and Mackey on the wings. Callan back. And for the Vancouver team, they're going with the extra forward on the power play, and that's Len Lundy. Now Callan coming out over his own line for Vancouver. Goes to center. Lundy down on the right side. Here's Callan going ready to go. He shoots on that. Great save there by DeJordy. And what a play that was by the rookie, Dale Callan. And the crowd responding very enthusiastically. The young fellow split the defense wide open, and DeJordy had to come up with a big save. Here's Kurtenbach leading the attack. He's trying to break in there. DeJordy knocked it from in front of the net to the side. It's kept in by Vancouver. There's Marat, and he shoots it down the ice. In the penalty to Pulford, 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. Gardner cleared it from behind his net on the right side. Lundy handing it off to Callan. He hits the line, puts on the brakes, flipped it right in there, quick shot, a loose puck, and it's knocked away. Bob Berry, who's the penalty killer for L.A. There's the mix-up now between Kurtenbach and young Hoganson. Hoganson and Kurtenbach trying to get loose to toss punches. The linesmen go in there, and they're attempting to break them up. As is so often, Al, in these skirmishes on the ice, if they get close to each other and hang on, the quarters are absolutely too close for any damage.
Yes, and one of the combatants there, Danny, the captain of the club, Kurt Kurtenbach, has taken on the role as the constable, they call him, and he's the policeman of the club, and probably young Hoganson made a gesture in that power play, and as Kurtenbach stated earlier, he thought that throughout the circuit a couple of times they're going to have to show the other teams that they're not going to be pushed around. Although they're new, they're not rooks, and they're not going to take any guff. And one of the things I think in hockey, Danny, if you're going to win, you cannot be intimidated.
So we'll have penalties here. Whether or not they'll be majors, time alone will tell. In the meantime, Pulford has 49 seconds to serve in his minor penalty. There's no score in the hockey game, and we have played 5 minutes and 37 seconds into the opening period. From the Coliseum in Vancouver, no score.
Orland Kurtenbach for fighting 5 minutes. The time, 5:37.
5:37. Hoganson of Los Angeles and Kurtenbach of Vancouver each has been assessed 5 minutes. Well, the face-off, they are, of course, coincident major penalties, and the manpower situation will not alter on the ice. Here's Callan clearing it in. It goes near the corner. Danny Johnson right out in front. They shoot. They hit the goal post. Ray Cullen hit the goal post on a point-blank shot. Now down on the right side, it's Lonsberry for L.A. In fast into Vancouver territory, and he fed it to the side of the net. the Canucks. Starting out. Out on the right side, Lundy goes to the line. It's cleared in by Talon. It's offside. Finally, they had 4 players strewn across the blue line. So Ray Cullen had that fine scoring opportunity. Danny Johnson set him up right in front, and he rattled it off the goalpost. 17 seconds left in the penalty to Fulford. Vancouver with the advantage. Rayom is now on defense with Darryl Sly for Vancouver. We have Lonsberry and Flett up front for L.A. Puck is at the L.A. line. It's rolled back to center. Sly slides the pass over to Mark Rayom. Rayom right through center, hits the Los Angeles line, and Danny Johnson, number 8, goes in there a bit too quickly. Fulford, he's all poised to come back on, standing at the gate. Clock indicates exactly 1 second left in his penalty. Lako of Vancouver decides to make changes. Boudria coming out with Popiel and Paymont. And they're going with still Sly and Rayom. Price is on defense, along with Cahan for Los Angeles. Here's Fulford back on the ice. He's in over the line, gets set. It's a weak shot. Gardner knocked it to the corner. Lonsberry right out in front it comes. And it hopped over Flett's stick. Now Flett waiting for his teammates to get onside. Takes the long shot. Gardner handing it off. Sly fell. Here's Flett with it around the Vancouver goal. Trying to center it. Gardner knocked it into the corner. The puck is left. It's Fulford going after it. Boudria took it away from him. Out over his own line for Vancouver. Ahead to Popiel. He winds up for the long shot wide. Lonsberry clears it through center. Down the ice it goes. Digging after it is Rayom. And it's icing called against the Los Angeles Kings.
During that period, the Vancouver Canucks had the man advantage. The 2 minutes Fulford was off. Dale Talon, the young fellow from the East, who had a real tough training camp with boils and injuries, I think proved again that he's going to be a pretty good hockey player. He's a good one now, Danny, but as years go by, he could be a dandy.
He was saying yesterday that he prefers playing back on defense, and he seemed to enjoy it in the early stages of this game, and it gives him the opportunity back on defense, the way hockey is played today, to utilize that great offensive talent that he has. And he went right through the defense in this game. Now out over the line, Labossiere. He's forced back into his own zone to Larry Mickey on the right side with Robinson. They clear it into Vancouver zone. Gardner hands it off to Wayne Mackey. Mackey just stands in behind the goal, gives it to Pat Quinn. Ahead to Len Lundy, a back pass to Mackey at center. Mackey over the line, there's the shot, and DeJordy holds on and skates out and gets a whistle. 12 minutes and 3 seconds left in the opening period. No score. And Vancouver, every man up for the faceoff. Mickey gets it for the Kings. Mickey last year, of course, played with the Montreal Canadiens. Utilized mostly on the power play as a great shot from the point. Now Vancouver's Len Lundy broke up an L.A. play, fed it back into the right of DeJordy. Marat. A pass ahead. Labossiere bumped. Here's Lundy winding up for the shot. He just missed with a low drive. Lundy taking that puck away from the L.A. player. Now it's Robinson back in over the Vancouver line. Back to Marat. A shot. Gardner comes up with it. Mickey was bumping there with Pat Quinn. Now Murray Hall and Mickey started to do some shoving. These two teams met 3 times in the regular preseason exhibition schedule. They had some hard-fought battles.
Hal Lako's using the strategy of Mackey and that line against the number one Los Angeles line for checking, Danny, and just about paid off in a goal for them.
From the face-off, Joyelle couldn't control it to get a shot. Now Vancouver out of their own zone. Danny Johnson picks up his own pass. He's bumped at the Kings line by Byers. Over on the far side it goes to center. Corrigan back to Wilkins. In on the right side. Cullen to Corrigan in front of Danny Johnson. And he was bumped by Byers right in front of DeJordy. Now there's a shot by Talon, a screen shot. And he moved up there quickly, got the shot, a screen one, and DeJordy held on. And this young fellow certainly in the early stages of this game living up to expectations. He does not hesitate, Talon, to move in there. Joyelle ready to face off against Cullen. Joyelle is waved out of there. And now it's Cahan for Los Angeles against Vancouver's Cullen. Joyelle has it. Around his net, up on the left side it goes. Price clearing it ahead. Byers almost got through there. But it was whistled down on the offside. And back it'll go inside the Kings' blue line. On Sunday afternoon, Vancouver will entertain Toronto Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs have been in the city since after Wednesday's exhibition game in Victoria, and I presume a goodly number of the Leafs are in attendance here tonight. Callan from center cleared it ahead on the left side. Now Byers moves it over on the left wing to Barry. Barry down with Joyelle. Barry taken out of the play by Cullen. Puck in deep Vancouver territory. Barry Wilkins missed his man Corrigan with a long lead pass. Price back to touch it. And that's icing called against Vancouver. The score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. Canucks hockey continues in a moment.
You're listening to a rebroadcast of the Vancouver Canucks' inaugural NHL game against the Los Angeles Kings.
Face off to the right of Gardner in goal for Vancouver. We're nearing the midway mark in the first period. And it'll be Pulford against Boudria. Pulford, Platt, and Lonsberry for the Kings on this face-off. Their defense. Ravlich playing up with Marat. Vancouver getting the draw. Popeil missed the pass in the corner from Rayom. Ravlich failed to clear it out. Here's Popeil keeping it back in. He weaves over to the right side. Knocked it in behind the net. Ravlich taking it away from Boudria. Ravlich clearing it to Fleck. Back to Ravlich. At center. Hitting the Vancouver line. Ravlich dropping it back. It's rolled in by Lonsberry. Vancouver back on the left side at center. Popeil across the line. There's a weak shot. It's wide. Marat knocking it off on the right side of Fleck. Fleck ahead to center. Beaufort was bumped by Sly. On the Vancouver line, Popeil knocked it to the right side. Heyman couldn't get it. Now Ravlich ahead to his own line to Pulford at center with Flett and Lonsberry. They clear it in. Lonsberry going in. He was checked in the corner by Boudria. Vancouver out of its own zone at center, and it went off Sly's stick over the glass just to the left of the Vancouver bench.
Yes, Danny, the Toronto Maple Leafs as a team are here tonight with Jim Gregory, their general manager, Johnny Bauer, Johnny McClellan, their coach, and also Bob Davidson, their chief scout. Nice to see Johnny Bauer again, isn't it?
Well, there was a great competitor, a great campaigner, one of the outstanding goalies of this era, I guess. Certainly, Bauer was great when you needed that big game. Now Vancouver from their own line. The former Toronto Maple Leaf player Pat Quinn clearing it in on a shot to the side of the L.A. goal. Here's Price feeding it to Cahan. Out over the line. To center it goes. Labossiere knocking it in for Robinson. Gardner cleared it to the far side. Kurtenbach trying to come up with it. Now Price rolls it back in. It goes to Robinson. Back to Labossiere. He tried to get it to the point. A loose puck. And let's see. There's going to be an interference penalty here. Activity in front of Gardner, Doak, and Quinn. Now Quinn is having words with Mickey. And Quinn, I think, will be the player. Assess the penalty. Likely interference. So Vancouver will be shorthanded with 8:32 left in the first period. The score, Vancouver, nothing Los Angeles, nothing playing in Vancouver. 11:28, Pat Quinn getting a misconduct along with his 10 minutes sitting out. He'll have to donate to the National Hockey League, $25. But the minor penalty now gives Los Angeles an advantage. They have every man up. Pulford clearing it to the far side for Lonsberry. Lonsberry back to Price at the point. Here's the shot. Pulford right in front, takes the shot. And Gardner had to come up with his biggest save, I would think, in the hockey game. It was not that the shot was so hard, but Pulford was parked right on the doorstep at the corner. And he's a cagey one, as everybody knows, and he tried to lift that puck past Gardner, but Gardner came out and cut down every angle that Pulford had. It's Pulford, Lonsberry, Fleck, Mickey on the right point, and Price on the left side on the power play for Los Angeles. Now Los Angeles getting the draw. Rayom took flat in on the boards. Price stopped it at the far point. Now Price getting set for a pass. Into the corner to Lonsberry. He fakes the shot. Turns around. Lonsberry back to Price again. He winds up a loose puck. Pulford tries to get a shot in front of the net. They fight for it, and it's cleared out over the line by the Vancouver Canucks. Kurtenbach and Lundy are the penalty killers on defense. Mark Rayom and Sly. It was Rayom who cleared it out. Now Los Angeles coming back. A four-man attack led by Pulford. Over it goes to Mickey. He's stopped by Kurtenbach and Rayom. Puck is loose into the corner. Here's Fleck playing it behind the net. Mickey getting set. He shot it to the side of the net. Pulford twists and turns. Centers it in front. It's knocked away to Lundy. Lundy shoots it down the ice. 7 minutes and 15 seconds left in the period. There's no score. First period. Pat Quinn has 40 seconds left in his minor. And forward-checking Vancouver in L.A. territory. They knocked the puck away from Mickey over the glass behind the Geordie. So the face-off will be in Los Angeles territory. Ravage now leading the power play for the Kings. It goes to center to Labossiere. Labossiere cutting in there on the backhand. Gardner stopped it from a sharp angle. Labossiere trying to clear it out. Puck is on the boards. Robinson couldn't get it back to the point. It's knocked out over the line by the Canucks. Labossiere showed a lot of hustle on that last rush by the Kings. Now Wilkins losing it. Here's Labossiere coming in with Marat. Labossiere right in front. There's the shot, the rebound, and it's cleared away. Gardner came up with a great save on Labossiere. Here's Wilkins, and he shoots it down the ice for Vancouver. Penalized minor assessment against Quinn has expired. Quinn stays in the penalty box, starting on his misconduct. But now Vancouver with a full complement. Joyelle takes a shot, grabbed by Gardner. He made a great save there, but I think that shot would have been to the side of the net.
George Gardner came into training camp about 12-15 pounds lighter than usual, saying he loved the city of Vancouver and he intended to stay there. And Danny, it appears that he's going to stay with the way he's played in exhibition games and here again tonight.
Lining up for the face-off to the right of Gardner, Joyelle is on with Byers and Bob Berry. And we have the Cullen line. That's Cullen at center, Danny Johnson on left wing, and Corrigan on the other side for Vancouver. Sly is on defense with Rayom for the Canucks, Marat, and Ravlich. They're up on the points for the Kings. Vancouver getting the draw. Rayom clearing it on the left side to Johnson. Back to Rayom. Ahead to Corrigan. Corrigan at the line. Over the line, and it's called offside. Corrigan had to make a move toward the right, and that put Cullen off, who was moving up on the far side. The score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. More National League hockey in a moment.
It's a special Sports Talk Turn Back the Tape, the very first Canucks hockey game, continuing right after this. If you're just joining us, it's a special Turn Back the Tape on Sports Talk from October 9th, 1970. And the legendary Danny Galiivan calling the very first Canucks game, as heard on our flagship station, CKNW.
4 minutes, 10 seconds left in this first period. There's no score. And Maroc in the penalty box has 1 minute and 18 seconds to serve. He's the big burly defenseman of the Los Angeles Kings. Murray Hall is replaced now. Corrigan comes out. It's Corrigan, Kurtenbach, and Mackey up front for Vancouver. Mackey back to the Vancouver line. Lundy's pass back went out over the line, and Dale Talon goes to center, gives it to Kurtenbach. He's in over the Los Angeles line to Corrigan. Corrigan winds up with a shot, and that one was wide. Now it's Wayne Mackey. They center it right in front of the Los Angeles goal, and Pulford shoots it down the ice. Pulford and Lonsberry are the penalty killers. They're trying now to stop the Canucks before they can get this attack organized. Lundy out over the line with Kurtenbach, Talon, Mackey, and Corrigan. 5 of them across the Los Angeles line. It's loose. Trying to clear it is Cahan. He finally gets it high into the air, but apparently the puck had been held against the boards by Pulford and Talon, and that's what brought about the whistle, and the face-off will be in Kings territory. Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. This is Canucks hockey from Vancouver.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks entrance into the NHL, a rebroadcast of their October 9th, 1970 game against the Los Angeles Kings.
33 seconds left in the penalty. There's Rayom from the Los Angeles line. His point shot knocked down. Hoganson lost his stick, but cleared it out for Los Angeles. The Canucks regrouping at their own line. Popiel up with Boudria over the line. Paymar works in on that right side, and the puck just missed him in front of the net. Hoganson scoops it down the ice. And Vancouver has to hustle back there to get another power play attack organized, because there are just 3 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Popiel over the Kings line, trying to get into the slot. He does. He takes the shot. And DeJordy blocked that one. Penalized player is back on. Ravlich clearing it right down to Gardner. And there's a change for the Kings. Pulford goes off. Labossiere is on, along with Lonsberry and Flett. Now there's a pass for Flett at center. He missed it. Mark Rayom for Vancouver, clearing it back in. Ravlich taking his time. Watching him is Boudria. There's a pass off the stick of Labossiere from Hoganson that goes down the ice. And the Canucks pick it up. And as we move into the final 2 minutes, it's rather deliberate post-checking hockey. Things are quiet. Now Labossiere tried to center it. Puck is on the boards. Robinson kicked it clear. Labossiere failed to bring it in front, and Vancouver starts up. At center ice, Paymar. He rolls it ahead. Mickey knocking it back into the center ice area. Doak slides a pass to the left side. Popiel's shot is knocked down. There's a loose puck to Cullen right in front. And DeJordy pulled off a great save on Cullen. That's the second time tonight Cullen has had glorious scoring opportunities. The other time, he hit the goalpost. Puck is back down the ice now into Vancouver territory. And this Cullen is going to finally get a chance and find an opening and get it past DeJordy, I would think, Al, if he keeps this up.
Certainly, and I think you'd have to say at this stage it's a goaltender's duel. We're seeing some great goaltending here. with George Gardner in the Vancouver Nets and Dennis DeJoy in the nets of the Los Angeles Kings. Both have been superb.
A minute and 22 seconds remaining in this first period. Joel facing off against Corrigan. Corrigan gets it to Danny Johnson. He plays it behind his net. Doak working out from the corner, slides away from Joel, feeds it ahead to Talon. Talon across the line, the hard shot. And that was a blistering drive, and DeJoy appeared to be handcuffed for a fraction of a second. Byers clearing it to Joel, over the line to Byers, going in. Gardner looked behind him, but he held it out. That was a crazily bouncing puck. Byers really couldn't get a good shot, but it was a dangerous effort. Corrigan is spun around by Price, knocked to the ice, and they're beginning to mix it up. Now Joel out of his own zone, a left wing pass. Over the line goes Bob Berry. He's on the backhand. Berry trying to get in front. He rolled it to the side of the net. They fight for it there, and Talon has it. Dale Talon ahead to center to Cullen. Cullen across the line. In for Corrigan. They did a goal, and he hit the side of the net. Corrigan tried to deke DeJoy, and he hit the side of the net. Now there's a puck going to Darryl Sly over to Corrigan on the backhand, and he fired it over the top of the net. Great action here in the last few seconds. Los Angeles hard pressed, clear it down the ice. 3 seconds. Talon has it, and that will be the period. That's the first period of tonight's game. The score: Vancouver 0, Los Angeles 0. A summary in a moment. And now they have fixed up an area of the ice in the center ice section. And we're all set with the referee Gilmore calling the centers Boudria and Pulford together. For Los Angeles, we have Lonsberry, Flett, and Pulford, Popeil, Boudria, and Haymon. For Vancouver, Vancouver quickly clears it in. Price missed it in behind his goal. Now they go to the corner. Boudria is shoved there by Cahan, and Price takes over. He's being watched by Popeil. Ahead to Flett. His pass over the line is gobbled up by Payma. And the Canucks feed it back in, and they move in there to tie up the Kings. However, Price takes over. He moves just in behind DeJoy. Into the corner goes to Cahan. He dumped a pass out to center. Pulford fails to come up with it. Now Darryl Sly shooting it back in for Vancouver. Price on the left side having difficulty getting away from Boudria. Haymon gets it, takes a shot, and it went off the Kings player Lonsberry right in front and just went by the open side of the net. Now Mark Rayon trying to clear it back in there. Flett going in on the boards. They do some shoving over there, a lot of milling about, but there has not been a punch thrown in that skirmish. So now the opportunity for the teams to make player changes. After 1 minute and 1 second into the second period. I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the people from Hockey Night in Canada who are here to thank the Vancouver Canucks club officials for the marvelous hospitality and cooperation extended us. It couldn't have been better, and we could not have asked for anything more. And of course, the general hospitality that greets one who comes into Vancouver is most impressive. Kurtenbach takes a long shot from center. Murray Hall keeping it in. Marat skates in behind his goal for L.A. Knocked it to center. Puck is loose. It goes on the right side. Hall takes a hard shot, but it was right on the target, and DeJoy had no difficulty with it. Here's Wayne Mackey from the corner, playing it on the boards, catching up with it behind the L.A. net. Kurtenbach, he takes it on his skate into the corner. He's shoving with Hoganson. Puck is loose, and Labossiere for the Kings starts out, feeds it up on the right side to Mickey. He's down with Robinson across the Vancouver line, and Mickey's shot is deflected. Mickey is bodied by Gary Doak. Bodied heavily into the boards. Wayne Mackey with Kurtenbach in over the L.A. line. It goes to Murray Hall, and he couldn't control it as he tried to roam right in on top of DeJordy. Now back from center. Callan for Vancouver. He clears it in. Hoganson ahead to Robinson. Robinson to center to Labossiere. His pass picked up at the Vancouver line by Callan, who knocked it to center. Marat has the pass go off a stick. Now over the line. Callan was bumped by Marat. Back is Byers. Byers over to Bob Berry. A whistling shot. And Doak got a piece of that in front of Gardner, and it went over the glass. The score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. This is NHL hockey from Vancouver.
You're listening to a rebroadcast of the Vancouver Canucks' inaugural NHL game against the Los Angeles Kings.
2 minutes, 37 seconds have been played. Second period, no score. The Kings, everybody up for the face-off to the right of the Vancouver goalie Gardner. They jam in on the boards. Puck is loose. Into the corner. Byers bumps with Sly. Now Barry takes Danny Johnson in on the boards. Puck is grabbed off. Cullen ahead to Corrigan. Down at center. Back checking neatly was Byers. Puck is loose. Here's Cullen in front. A pass over to Danny Johnson. Back it comes to the point. Gerald Sly takes the shot. It goes off the leg. And there's going to be a penalty here to Los Angeles. Bob Berry was in there helping out the defense of Price and Cahan. And it was Cahan who was guilty of the infraction. Well, the three L.A. players trying to tie up Corrigan.
Number 3, Larry Cahan. For high sticking, 2 minutes. The time, 3:11.
3:11, the time of the high sticking penalty against Cahan of L.A. And Lako, the Vancouver coach, has the power play of Corrigan. Cullen. Lundy. Callan. And Kurtenbach. And the face-off, Kurtenbach goes to the corner, fires it behind the net to the other side to Corrigan. Out it comes to Lundy. The shot knocked down. Lonsberry out quickly at center. He's a penalty killer with Fulford. Lonsberry into the Vancouver zone, centered it. Corrigan took it away from in front of Gardner. Fulford plays it to Lonsberry. He's trying to tie it up in Vancouver territory. It goes loose, and here's Lundy from behind his own net, getting the power play organized. Lundy out over the line with Kurtenbach, Corrigan, and Cullen. 4 of them at center. Now Talon comes up in the play, cutting in on the left side. Talon centering it. Hoganson takes it in on the board, ties it up against Talon, and the face-off will be in the King zone.
Imagine whoever scores first here, Danny, they'll grab the puck because it will be 15,062, just about 500 short of a complete sellout. But the first goal puck will be a grabber because that will be a record puck, either way.
Vancouver, everybody up for the face-off. They have the advantage with Cahan in the penalty box, but the Kings clear it down the ice, and the Canucks forced to go back after it. 59 seconds left in the penalty to Cahan. Here's Cullen, starting out with Kurtenbach, who takes the pass. He comes with Corrigan to center. Kurtenbach fades over to the left side into King's territory. Jammed out of the play by Hoganson. Hoganson back into the corner to Lonsberry, and he clears it down the ice. And this Kings team doing a fine job right here of killing off the penalty to Cahan. They make some changes. Flett is on the ice with Mickey as penalty killers. Here's Talon at center of Vancouver. He shoots it in. It's loose in front of the net. Paymon shoots, and he grazed the goalpost on a backhand shot with DeJordy off to the side. A great scoring opportunity for Paymon. Here's Len Lundy winding up for the shot. Knocked down by Mickey. And Mickey cleared it down the ice. Paymon was turned around. He really couldn't control that puck. but he came very close to finding the target on the open side to the left of DeJordy. Here's Vancouver, led by their captain Kurtenbach. Over it goes to Payma. He takes the shot from the Los Angeles line wide. Penalized player is back on. Boudria getting it back. There's a shot by Sly. He's wide with it. And Flett jammed out of the play, gets it out to center. Mickey doesn't touch it because he was on the Vancouver side of the center line. Boudria with Payma. Payma's shot again is wide. Flett clearing it to center. Sly ahead for Payma. Back to Sly from center. He cleared it in. DeJordy trapped it behind the net. Here's Ravlich, who has been used sparingly on defense tonight, feeding it ahead. Labossiere over to Joyal. And his shot goes off Sly's stick. They fight for it on the boards. Boudria working his way out to Payma. He's turned around by Labossiere, who did a fine back-checking job. Labossiere clearing it to center. Vancouver breaking it up. Now over the line, Labossiere head to Robinson, and he couldn't catch up with it. Bursting in on goal from the left side. Boudria ahead to Payma. At center, he hits the Kings line. Offside. The puck was knocked to the side by Ravlich. The score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing. More hockey action in a moment.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
13 minutes, 22 seconds left in the second period, and we're still looking for our first goal of the night. They line up for the face-off at the Los Angeles blue line. We have Cullen, Danny Johnson, and Corrigan for the Canucks. Bob Berry on the left wing, Vieding at center, and Byers on the far side. The Canucks clear it in. It's back to the point. It goes now to Quinn, who is back in circulation after serving the misconduct. There's Corrigan into the corner, centering it out to Cullen, and he couldn't control it. Marat ahead to Vieding. Vieding takes the shot. He's low and wide with it. Goes in behind the net, trying to get it clear. Johnson ahead to Cullen. Cullen down fast at center in over the L.A. line. Feeds it in front. Broken up. There's a loose puck again from the stick of Danny Johnson. And Ravlich ahead for Vieding. Doak broke him up at the Vancouver blue line. Puck is loose. Cullen slides a pass to the left side to Johnson over to the other point, and it comes out over the line, and Doak clears it in. In New York, this blonde youngster was known as Vieding. That's why we're calling him Vieding. But I understand now that Jack Kent Cook wants something with alliteration, and he calls him Whitey Vitey.
Leave it up to Jack Kent Cook. You know, before the season's over, if he doesn't play hockey, he'll be called something else.
I would think that's a pretty fair assessment of the situation now. Puck is cleared out of the Kings zone to center. Vancouver stopping it, and then the Kings with Marat rolls it back into Vancouver territory. Doak back there against Vieding. Doak, a forward pass. Cullen has it. He has Danny Johnson and Corrigan with him. Cullen is spun around at the defense by the back-checking Vieding and Bob Berry. Here's Bob Berry breaking in over the line, trying to get the shot away. He was tied up by Corrigan, and there's going to be a penalty here. Hooking, it'll be against either Corrigan or Cullen. They were both closing in on Bob Berry. So now the Kings will have an opportunity to utilize their power play. It's going to be Corrigan going on. Score, Vancouver nothing, Los Angeles nothing from the Coliseum in Vancouver.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks entrance into the NHL, a rebroadcast of their October 9th, 1970 game against the Los Angeles Kings.
The time of the penalty, hooking against Corrigan of Vancouver, 8:04. And Larry Regan has his power play lineup of Fulford, Joyal, Flett, Noel Price, and Lonsberry. And defending for the Canucks, Kurtenbach and Lundy up front. Rayom and Sly are on defense. The face-off in the circle to the right of Gardner in goal for Vancouver. Lonsberry is holding up the resumption of play. He went over to get a new stick at the Kings bench. Now we're ready. Lonsberry and Price are on the points. Lundy gets the draw, circles on the boards, and clears it down the ice. And that sends Price back there along with Lonsberry. It's Lonsberry picking it up. No score, second period, and we're nearing the midway mark. Lonsberry coming out with Flett, Pulford, and Joyelle. Pulford races in on the right side. Gardner out of his net to clear it off the boards to the corner. They jam in there. It comes in front. And Sly starting out for the Canucks. At center with Lundy. Sly killing off seconds on the clock. Finally clears it into the corner. On the penalty. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Price feeding it up on the right side to Flett. Back it goes to Price. Price at center. He hits the Vancouver line off the stick of Pulford. It goes to Gardner. He cleared it away from Pulford. And now from behind the net, Sly gets it down the ice. And the Kings have to go back after it. Neither team has looked particularly potent in the power play department tonight. Put it more positively, each team has been solid killing off penalties. Now over the line, Lonsberry back to Joyelle to Pulford. There's the screen. They score! Lonsberry on Pulford's rebound. It always happens out, you say, that they're not doing well in the power play, and bingo, they're gone.
Just thinking about one of the fellows, a special guest of the Canucks here tonight from Calgary, Bert Olmsted. When you speak about a power play, I think that will have to go down as one of the greatest, the Canadian power play of Olmsted's day.
Well, they had about 6 guys they could use in the power play that day, or that any particular night in those days.
Los Angeles' first goal, scored by number 8, Ross Lonsberry. Number 21, Matt Gremlin. Number 16, Andy Joyelle. The time, 9:26.
9:26. The time of the goal. Ravlich and Joyelle. Apparently, it was touched. That is the Pulford shot from the boards. As they scrambled in front, a couple of players got their sticks on it. So the goal to Lonsberry. There's an offside called against the Kings. Lavoisier touching that puck as he was coming out of the Vancouver zone. So the time of the goal, the scoring play once again. Lonsberry getting the goal. Ravlich and Joyelle, the assist, 9:26 on the power play, and here in the second period. Lavoisier facing off against Kurtenbach in the center ice area. Marotte rattled it off the boards in over the Canucks blue line. Talon shoots it off the right wing, and it goes to Marotte again. Lavoisier ahead to Robinson. Vancouver's Hall broke it up, starting down on the right side with Wayne Mackey. Ravlich gets it, clears it ahead. Larry Mickey from the right wing at center shoots it in. Falling in on the boards, Barry Wilkins. It's loose. Gardner comes out of his net to clear it to the side. Now a loose puck. Picked up at center. Talon has it. He's in over the line to drop past the Kurtenbach. There's the shot, the rebound. Back it goes near the line. Mackey takes the shot. He hits the goal post. And a great save by DeJordy on Hall. Wayne Mackey hit the goal post. Los Angeles 1, Vancouver nothing. Canucks hockey continues in a moment.
Danny Galiivan, Big Al Davidson, calling the very first Canucks game, and we have more right after this. With the 1970 Los Angeles Kings leading the Vancouver Canucks 1-0, let's pick up more of the game action.
9 minutes, 21 seconds left in the second period. And the crowd got excited on that last Vancouver effort. They came very close to tying it up. Now the Kings are back in. They keep that puck in from the line. Working in. Byers takes the shot. It's rattled off the leg of Doak. Vancouver fails to clear it out. A shot by Noel Price, handled easily from the corner. Viting centered it to the side of the net. Now the Kings buzzing around. A pass goes to Bob Barry. He centers it. Off the boards, Cahan winds up for the shot. Loose puck in front of the net. It rolls in front again. There's another shot. And down is Gardner. And he holds it out with Barry trying to flip that puck over the prostrate form of Gardner. And that goal would appear to have ignited the offensive power of the Kings. That was about their best demonstration of applying pressure in this hockey game.
I think the first period, Danny, was goaltender's duel, and it appears it's going to be the second period story, too, as they move on into the latter stages of this period.
Face off to the left of Gardner in the Vancouver goal. The Kings get it. Cahan back at the point again. Slides it toward the corner. Barry is bumped by Rayom. Now coming off the boards is Viting. He flipped it in there, and Gardner had it cleared cleverly. Now on the right side, Vancouver. Cullen over for Johnson. Johnson at the line, bumped by Cahan. Byers knocked it back to center for the Kings. It's picked up there by Sly. Vancouver now going to the attack. Sly clearing it in. Johnson in the corner against Price. Corrigan back to Rayom. Rayom lost it at the blue line. Sly recovers at center for Vancouver. Off the boards, Johnson feeds it to the far side at center to Sly. He bounces it in wide of the Kings' goal. Price knocking it up on the wing to Byers. Stopping it is Corrigan at the point. He winds up for the shot. A low drive just wide. Los Angeles leading here in the second period 1-0. Here's Viting going in on that left side. Back to Barry, a shot. Cleared away by Mark Rayom. Rayom knocking it to the wing, has it go over the glass in Vancouver territory. The score, Los Angeles 1, Vancouver 0, playing in Vancouver. Face off to the left of Gardner, the Canucks goalie. Taken behind the net by Quinn. Fulford rammed it back in. Lonsberry couldn't get it. Now on the right side, Pema at center. Now with Boudria, a shot knocked down by Marat. And he returns it to center. Doak fires the long shot, the rebound. And Hoganson in there to take over for the Kings. He knocked it down on the wing. Doak is back after it. It'll be icing called against the Los Angeles Kings, and they lead in the hockey game 1-0. The only scoring play, Lonsberry, Ravlich, and Joel at 9:26. So Lonsberry has the honor of scoring the first goal in this 1970-71 season. Boudria facing off against Fulford, Doak, and Pat Quinn for Canucks. Up on the Los Angeles blue line, Lonsberry got the draw out quickly at center. In over the Vancouver line, a right wing pass. Flett couldn't get it. It goes to the corner. Quinn hits Boudria with it. Boudria down at center to the other side. Oh, Paymon was belted there by Marat. That definitely the hardest body check of the night. Paymon was going in there at full tilt, looking for a pass on the right wing. And Marat really rattled him. Now Vancouver back. Fulford in his own zone took a Boudria pass, cleared it out to center. It's Flett back with Lonsberry. Boudria has it. Pema circles to the far side of his own line to get control of the puck. Now he's out at center with Boudria. A hit on the left side. There's Popeil firing a shot wide. Vancouver keeping it in. Marat then gets it and knocked it across the line. Popeil back in with Boudria. Hoganson hands it off to his defense mate Marat through center. Takes the long drive. Gardner very coolly dropped it off to Barry Wilkins. They fight for it in the corners, Joel and Popeil. And the face-off will be in deep Vancouver territory. The score, Los Angeles Kings 1, Vancouver 0. More NHL hockey in a moment.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second period. Los Angeles on a power play goal by Lonsberry, leading the Vancouver Canucks 1-0. And they line up for the face-off to the left of Gardner. Joyal, who 2 years ago had that outstanding season for Los Angeles, tapered off badly last year, is facing off against Kurtenbach. And there are two players that are expected to do well, Kurtenbach and Joyal, this year. Puck is out over the line, goes into the center ice area. Doug Robinson cleared it in, and it's called as it goes over the boards, and they have to get a new puck. Sunday afternoon, here at the Coliseum, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks. And the face-off. Dale Talon makes a fine move, goes down to the L.A. line, into Kurtenbach. Kurtenbach played it into the corner. Murray Hall is jammed in on the boards. Now the puck goes to Price, and he fires it to the far side. There's Larry Mickey returning it behind the net. Mackey tried to come up with it. Hall going in to help out against Price. And they get a face-off to the left of Dennis DeJordy.
A special guest between the second and third periods, we have Jim Gregory, the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club. Jack Lee, former hockey writer and now publicist for the Pacific National Exhibition. Should be interesting.
And the clock now indicates exactly 5 minutes, 7 seconds left in the second period. It's Cullen at center. On the wings, Corrigan and Danny Johnson for Vancouver. Now it's back to the point to Sly. In it goes to Corrigan. His shot is blocked by Marat. Off the boards to Sly. He rifles that shot right on. Jordy covering up. There's the shot by Corrigan. A loose puck in front of the net. And it's cleared out over the line. And Vancouver again have a glorious opportunity to tie it up. Here's Danny Johnson going in. He gets it back. A backhand shot by Corrigan wide. And the Canucks buzzing around. And finally, the Kings clear it down the ice. Vieding forechecking on Darryl Sly, who played it off the boards. For the Kings on defense, Hoganson and Marat. Vieding is up front. He has Byers with him along with Bob Berry. Now Vieding takes the pass, goes to center, hits the Vancouver line, the long shot. And into the corner, Gardner played it. Corrigan behind the net to Ray Ohm. Up on the left wing it goes to Johnson. He's being watched there by Byers. Vieding's pass to Berry. He tries to get through there but fails. Sly and Berry go into the corner. Twisting and turning now is Johnson. Byers bumped him. Sly turning. Vancouver having difficulty getting out. Now they're getting some skating room. At center, Sly slides it off the board. In there goes Byers to pick it up. Los Angeles leading 1-0 here with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in the second period. That is the fifth penalty against Los Angeles. Vancouver has picked up 4, including a misconduct to Quinn. So now the Canucks down 1 goal with L.A. leading 1-0. The Canucks have the opportunity to utilize all-out fashion the power play. They have Kurtenbach, Mackey, Hall, Callan, and Lundy. Pulford forced the puck back into the Vancouver zone. Now then Lundy behind the net, getting this power play attack for Vancouver organized. Lundy leading a 5-man attack, swings the pass to Talon on the left side. And Cahan rolled it off the boards down the ice. There's Gardner away out of his net to clear it ahead. And Kurtenbach is called on the offside. He got his stick on that puck on the L.A. side of the center red line. 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in the penalty to Flett. And there are 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second period. And the organist doing his bit to get the Canucks moving. Noel Price back at center to Cahan. He clears it in. Lundy waiting for his teammates to get back to join him, and some of the fans getting a bit restive. Now Lundy gets the attack organized. Ahead it goes to Talon. He shoots it to the corner. Fulford, the veteran, races in. Gets it to Lonsberry, and Lonsberry clears it down to Gardner. 55 seconds remaining in the penalty. And the Canucks having their difficulties getting a sustained power play attack organized. Now Lundy tries it from center. He shoots it in there. DeJordy trapping it behind the net. It goes to Cahan. He played it up. Dale Talon gets it back into Mackey. It's deflected. The pass from Mackey deflected by Pulford. And Vancouver forced to go back into their own zone. Dale Talon ahead to Murray Hall. Up on the left side. Mackey couldn't get anywhere against Mickey. Mickey shooting it back in. And there are now just a dozen seconds left in the penalty. And the Kings have 4 men in over the Vancouver line trying to tie up the Canucks, but the Canucks work away in over the LA line. Here's Murray Hall getting in front. A pass. There's a shot. A loose puck in front of the net. And the shot there by Lundy was grabbed by DeJordy. And he did not give a rebound. Less than a minute in the second period. 59 seconds remaining. Penalized player back on. Just at the time that Lundy was able to whistle that shot from pretty good position at DeJordy. Ray Cullen, Danny Johnson, and Corrigan for Vancouver. We have that tall, rangy left winger Doug Robinson on left wing for L.A. Labossiere at center, and Mickey on the wing. That is the right wing. They jam in on the boards from the face-off, so they'll do it again just to the right of DeJordy. Mark Rayome and Darryl Sly are up for the Canucks on the L.A. blue line. Now the puck goes back to Rayome. He fired a weak backhand shot off the leg. Maroc going in on the boards to cover up for the Kings. And he really did cover up. He went in there very heavily. The paid attendance tonight, 15,062. And the seating capacity here at the Coliseum is just in excess of 15,500. So approximately 500 empty seats, which is a wonderful showing for this, the inaugural in the NHL here in Vancouver. Players a bit fractious before they get the puck drop. Fulford waved out of there. Now Hoganson facing off against Cullen. It goes to the far side. Fulford in on the boards. He's tied up by Corrigan. And again, they'll face off, this time to the left of DeJordy. .42 seconds left in the second period. The face-off. Maroc cleared it up on the wing to Lonsberry. Mark Rayome back for it, fails to knock it out. Pulford is bumped there by Danny Johnson. They fight for it. Cullen goes in, kicked it clear to Rayome. Off the boards, Darryl Sly trying to get it. Now here's Pulford in deep Vancouver territory, sliding a pass that goes off a skate. Flett working it into Pulford. Back it goes to Flett to Pulford. Pulford couldn't control it. Here's Flett getting set to center. They score! Bob Berry on a beautiful pass-off from Flett. And so L.A. leads 2-0, and that goal comes at 19:52 in the second period. Number 18, Bob Berry, We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Coach Regan has been extremely pleased with the play of Barry. And that was an indication just how well Barry has been playing.
And number 20, Bob Fulford.
1952, Fulford and Flett getting the assist. 2-0 the score. 4 seconds now left in the second period. Maroc cleared it down the ice. The buzzer goes to end the second period. And that's the second period of tonight's game. The score, Los Angeles 2, Vancouver nothing. A summary in just a moment.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
2-0 Los Angeles Kings over the Vancouver Canucks after 2 periods of play, with all the scoring coming in the second period. The scoreless first period of play, and I thought it was a goaltender's duel between Dennis DeJordy and George Gardner. Both teams having opportunities, but every occasion the goaltenders came up with great saves. Vancouver was outshot by Los Angeles 13-11 in that first period, but actually I thought DeJordy had more key saves to make than Gardner, although George made some great saves for the scoreless tie at the end of 1. The first goal ever scored in the National Hockey League in Vancouver. It was picked out of the net. It'll go down in history as Ross Lonsbury got the first goal of the 1970-71 NHL season at 9:26 from Ravlich and Joyal, while Corrigan was off at 8:09 for hooking. And then to put a little icing in the cake for Los Angeles, Bob Barry at 19:52. And they say it's a cardinal sin to have a score against you in the last minute of play in any period. And it appeared that Reagan of Los Angeles was going to put out a checking line as he had a face-off deep in his end with it, less than a minute to play. And he was afraid, I think, of having a goal scored on him, because after the one face-off, it was an attempt to freeze. They got the puck out and hemmed it in the Vancouver end, and it was noticeable, if you like, audible. You could hear it coming as the Vancouver Canucks cleared very poorly, and Fulford was the instigator of it all, did the hard work as he's done in years past. Bill Flett and Fulford getting the assist, with Bob Barry sitting in the doorstep at 19:52 for the goal. 2-0 Los Angeles Kings over the Vancouver Canucks. There will be more NHL hockey in 3 minutes.
Teams are back on the ice, just a matter of a few seconds now away from the start of the third period. And the score, 2-0. Los Angeles 2, Vancouver no score. Both goals coming in the second period. Lonsbury from Ravlich and Joyal at 9:26. And then Bob Barry from Flett and Fulford at 19:52. So the Vancouver Canucks, as we start this third period, they have some catching up to do. And toward that end, on the offense starting this period, they send out Kurtenbach, Mackey, and Murray Hall. Now Mackey from the face-off over the line, drifts the shot from the L.A. blue line. It's wide. There's a pass by Hall that's knocked back into the corner. Doug Robinson clears it in behind DeJordy for L.A., and it's knocked down on the right side by Larry Mickey. The Canucks back to their own zone. Darryl Slide feeds it to center. L.A. taking over. Cahan ahead to Mickey. He's bumped hard by Mark Rayom, and he was sent to the ice in the center ice area after clearing it into the Vancouver zone. Rayom ahead to Mackey, to Kurtenbach. Kurtenbach cutting in on that left side. There's the shot. He was wide by 3 or 4 feet with it. Darryl Slide back into the corner. Kurtenbach centered it, and Hall took a shot from almost in front of the net, and Cahan deflected it over the glass. This is going to be a very busy first weekend in the National Hockey League. Tomorrow night, New York at St. Louis, Oakland at Detroit, Buffalo at Pittsburgh, and Minnesota at Philadelphia. And then on Sunday, Montreal at Philadelphia, Detroit at Boston, Oakland at Chicago, and as we've already mentioned, an afternoon game here at the Coliseum, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Vancouver. Vancouver, everybody up for the face-off. Boudria is on with Paiement and Popiel. However, L.A. gets it to center from the face-off. Boudria weaving his way back. Fires a pass over for Popiel. There's a shot right on by Paiement. And DeJordy had to come up with a big save. Boudria lost it. It's off his stick. Goes to the right side. Quinn ahead to Boudria. His shot is blocked in front of the net by Hoganson. On the move, the Canucks. They center right in front of Boudria. There's a shot! And he shot it over the top of the net with DeJordy sliding out. At center, back is Lonsberry. He got away from the check intended for him by Doak. Puck back at center. Marat to Lonsberry. He's bumped by Paiement in front of the Vancouver bench. They drop their gloves. They're going at it. Lefts and rights. The linesman, Neil Armstrong. And Ashford also moving in there. Wolford and Doak have each other tied up. So we'll have penalties here. Lonsberry and Paiement. The score, Los Angeles 2, Vancouver no score. This is NHL hockey from Vancouver.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
Doak and Fulford, they continue to shove each other around, and they may also go to the penalty box. However, on that, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely Lonsberry and Paiement will sit it out for at least 2 minutes. But I would think that Fulford and Doak may also find themselves occupants of the penalty box. And this outbreak comes after 1 minute and 41 seconds into the third period. Los Angeles leading 2-0. Now the players are busily engaged, picking up gloves and sticks. And there goes Fulford. He's joining Lonsberry in the penalty box on the Los Angeles side, and Doak is going over now to sit it out along with Paiement. No indication has been given whether or not the original penalties to Lonsberry and Paiement are minors or majors. They'll flash that information on the clock just as soon as the referee Gilmore gives it to the official penalty timekeeper. And we have 2 minutes up on either side on two of the penalties. Los Angeles broke into the scoring in the second period at 9:26 on a power play goal. Lonsberry from Ravlich and Joyel, and then at 19:52 it was Bob Berry from Flett and Fulford. After a scoreless first period, in which L.A. outshot Vancouver 13-11, but Vancouver in the first period appeared, and I think it's the general consensus, to have had the better scoring opportunities. But L.A. came back very strongly in the second, outscoring, as we mentioned, Vancouver 2-0, and outshooting Vancouver 12-6. So we just have 2 minutes on either side, so it would appear that we have major penalties to Paiement and Lonsberry. Yes, that's it, because each team out there with four skaters.
Penalty to number 20, Bob Fulford, for roughing, 2 minutes. Vancouver penalty to number 2, Gary Doak, for roughing, 2 minutes. Los Angeles penalty to number 8, Ross Lonsberry, for fighting, 5 minutes. Vancouver penalty to number 15, Rosaire Paiement, for fighting, 5 minutes. The time, 1:41.
So there you have it, 1:41. Now Vancouver at center ice, led by Lundy, and over the L.A. line. Going in is Boudria. A pass goes to the far side. Turning around, here's Barry Wilkins. There's a shot. He scores! got the pass from the point. He was on the right wing, moved in toward the circle to the left of DeJordy, had trouble controlling the puck, spun around and slid it just along the ice. DeJordy got a piece of it, but it slid over the goal line. There's the announcement. Wilkins getting the goal. Wilkins takes his shot. It goes over the glass behind DeJordy. 2:14, the time of the goal. Wilkins getting the goal with Lundy the assist. And the Canucks are right back into contention here now with the score LA 2, Vancouver 1. And they are having some discussion as to where the faceoff should be. Wilkins shot that puck from outside the blue line. And the officials finally decide after a conference that the faceoff will be outside the Kings' blue line. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in the penalties to Doak and Pulford. Teams are playing five aside. There's a pass going to Lundy, cutting in on the right side. Fans on his shot. Knocked in on the boards by Marat, Boudria, and Joyal going to the corner also, and the play is stopped. The hardest checks being tossed out tonight in this game are those being delivered by Gilles Marat on defense for the Kings. And now for the face-off to the left of DeJordy. Vancouver making a complete change and sending everybody out. Wayne Mackey, Kurtenbach, Sly, and Rayom. Labossiere and Robinson up front for the Kings. The puck comes in front of DeJordy, grabbed off by Price. He's on defense with Cahan. Price from center, bounces it into Gardner. Gardner tucked it behind the net. Darryl Sly goes to the far side, bumped and held against the boards by Labossiere. And the face-off will be to the right of the Vancouver goalie, Gardner. On the face-off, into the corner it goes, covering up a Sly. He hands it off to Kurtenbach up on the left side to Mackey. Mackey with Kurtenbach at center. Mackey takes the long shot off the glass. Labossiere jammed in on the boards. Gets loose, hands it off to Price. Price ahead to Labossiere. There's a pass for Robinson. He couldn't catch up with it. Down the ice it goes. And the Kings are called for icing. The score, LA 2, Vancouver 1. More hockey action in a moment.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks entrance into the NHL. A rebroadcast of their October 9th, 1970 game against the Los Angeles Kings.
17 seconds remaining in the penalties to Pulford and Doak. Face off to the right of DeJordy. Labossiere got the draw, dropped it back into the corner to Robinson. He played it behind his own net. Cahan just stands there, waiting to get a player positioned. Now Robinson comes to center. Lost it to Kurtenbach. Kurtenbach to the right side. Couldn't get anywhere at the LA line. Now Vancouver from center again, and Kurtenbach slides it into the corner. Penalized players are back on. Noel Price, a veteran of the hockey wars. A pass, now it goes on the right side. Cahan is bumped by Mark Rayom, spun off balance after shooting it into Vancouver territory. Up on the right side, Murray Hall comes to center. He's poke-checked at the LA line, and then Rayom brought it back across the line, bringing about an offside. 4 minutes and 12 seconds have gone by in the third period. Now, this week in Vancouver has been a memorable one. And the climax here tonight with the Canucks finally getting their baptism of fire in the National Hockey League. And an appreciative audience of over 15,062 looking on. And their biggest moment came just a few minutes ago in this, the third period, when Barry Wilkins got the first Vancouver goal to cut that L.A. lead in half. It's 2-1 for L.A. as they start out of their own zone. There's a right wing pass to Flett. He's down fast at center. In over the Vancouver line. He's cutting, trying to get right in front. He does. And he lost control of the puck. And there's going to be a penalty. Quinn is going off. It appeared from here as if it were Quinn who went after Flett, who was cutting in front of the net, in front of Gardner. Yes, it is Quinn. So that comes at the 4:30 mark.
To number 3, Pat Quinn, for holding. 2 minutes. The time, 4:30.
The Kings on the power play with Fulford, Flett, Joyal, Larry Mickey, and Gilles Marat. Mickey and Marat are on the points at the Vancouver blue line. We have Popeil and Boudria up front. Doak on defense with Barry Wilkins. Popeil gets it, takes it to the corner, fired it behind the net. Barry Wilkins hit Boudria with it. Boudria picks it off his back, literally. Comes out over the line. Feeds it back in over his own line to Wilkins, over to Doak, and he shoots it down the ice, and scurrying back there for the Kings, Mickey, and also forechecking for the Canucks, Boudria. Mickey from in front of his own goal. A long left wing pass to Marat, over on the other side to Flett, to Pulford, back into the corner to Flett, getting set to center it. He centers it. It's blocked. Now it's loose. Back it comes to the point to Mickey. It hops over his stick. Racing after it is Popeil, but Mickey gets there ahead of him at his own line. Gives it to Marat. Left wing pass, and Doak stopping it at the Vancouver blue line. Cleared it down to DeJordy. 1 minute now left in the penalty. Marat ahead to Flett over the line with Pulford. And Joyal, Flett, a hard drive wide. Joyal on the rebound. He was in there too far. And Boudria, who is the going concern in the penalty-killing role for Vancouver, knocked it back down the ice. There's a change for both clubs. Here's Labossiere, fast at center, in over the Vancouver line. In it goes to Byers. There's the shot. Gardner covering up on the rebound after making a quick save on Byers' sharp shot from the right side. Gilmore, the referee, is now talking to the captain of the Vancouver team, Orland Kurtenbach. 30 seconds remaining in Quinn's penalty. And exactly 14 minutes to play in the hockey game. 2-1. And the Kings over the Canucks. Labossiere against Kurtenbach. Labossiere from the faceoff went right in, took a shot, and Gardner was brilliant on it. Canucks clearing it to center. Cahan sliding it back to his own line to Price. Price hitting the Canucks blue line. Hands it off to Byers, and Labossiere in there too quickly, so was Byers. 16 seconds showing on the clock to serve in the penalty to Pat Quinn. Marc Rayon shoots it down the ice. Back for it slowly for the Kings. Price waiting to line up with Labossiere. Labossiere takes it. He's out over the line. Has Robinson on the left wing. On the right wing, it's Byers. And again, Byers, with that speed of his, brings about an offside.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
10 minutes and 45 seconds left in the hockey game as Murray Hall goes to the L.A. line, takes a shot, and it's off Doug Robinson's stick, and there's another souvenir for somebody in that location in the corner to the left of DeJordy. If you've just joined us after a scoreless first period, in the second period, L.A. getting 2 goals from Barry and Lonsberry, and then Wilkins scoring for Vancouver in the third period. Dale Hoganson clearing it to Marat. Marat to Labossiere out over the L.A. line. Back to Hoganson. He's knocked down at center by Kurtenbach. Mark Riom at his own line played it to Wayne Mackey. Mackey up at center. Goes to the LA line. Fades to the far side. Darryl Sly takes a shot. That was a screen shot. And DeJordy, who is very sharp here tonight, grabbed it, and right on his doorstep was Kurtenbach. DeJordy reminds me of the DeJordy of Chicago days 3 or 4 years ago, Al.
Yes, he's just playing brilliantly tonight. He has to be one of the stars of the game. And he's skating over toward the Los Angeles bench for probably some equipment repairs. The young fellow who scored the Vancouver Canucks only goal, Barry Wilkins, is a product of Toronto, Ontario hockey through the Boston chain, and the coaches, Coach Lako and Bud Poyle, have great hopes for this young fellow.
And further about DeJordy, I think he has lost weight. I haven't checked on it, but he seems to be a bit thinner. And that is always an indication that perhaps a player is having things going his way. Now breaking away. It's Barry going in, takes the shot, he scores! L.A. taking the lead. Bob Barry. And L.A. taking the lead of 2 goals again. 3-1. 3 of them broke out very quickly out of their own zone, and Barry, using the wings as decoys, sort of faked a pass over to the left. But when he crossed the blue line, it appeared as if he were going to test the goalie himself, and he let it go from about 30 feet out. And it was an unassisted goal. So it's 3-1 with L.A. leading. Puck is back in Kings territory. Price working his way out on the right side, comes to center with Byers and Joyelle. Price clearing it in. Talon trying to get away from Joyelle. Cullen goes in to help out to Corrigan. Now Barry keeps it in from the point. Talon knocked it out to center. Johnson of Vancouver put it right on Barry's stick. So Bob Barry, his first game for L.A., having a big night here with 2 goals. Byers clearing into the centerized area. Barry Wilkins cruises back to his own line. Puck comes to center. Joyelle skating back toward his blue line. Cahan has it. Now we have 9 minutes left in the hockey game. Murat, a long shot off the right wing boards. It's in deep Vancouver territory. And finally they call it for icing. The score, Los Angeles 3, Vancouver 1. Canucks hockey continues in a moment. Face off in Los Angeles territory. Pulford getting it back to Murat, who stands in behind DeJordy, tries to set up Pulford. Lonsbury knocked it to center. Pema laying it back to his own blue line for Vancouver to Doak. Doak is forced right into the corner, fails to clear it out. Lonsbury to Pulford, over to goes to Flett. Flett at the line, working back in on the left side toward the corner. There's Doak chasing it, covering up. Pulford comes up with it. Trying to center it. It comes in front of the Vancouver goal, and Quinn cleared it. Now then Doak. A left wing pass. Out at center. It's Lundy across the line for the Canucks. Into the corner. Getting it back to Quinn. It's off his stick. Lonsbury coming down. He has Pulford and Flett with him. Lonsbury shoots a hot one. And Gardner grabbed it and held on.
Must be psychic, Danny, because the start of the game tonight, you were talking about Bobby Barry getting his first chance, and it looks like he has to go down as one of the stars tonight with his 2 goals.
He's a good, solid hockey player. He's big, he's rough, he plays good positional hockey, and he has that good shot. Not the slap shot, but the wrist shot, and he utilized it to find advantage on that second goal. Face off to the right of Gardner. 8 minutes left in the hockey game. Wayne Mackey gets it. He starts out with Murray Hall and Kurtenbach. Kurtenbach at the L.A. line, cutting into the corner of the left side. A sharp angle shot wide. Darryl Sly, a weak shot. Now out comes Robinson for the Kings. Coming over the line with Mickey. Robinson on the backhand, centered it through the crease. Kurtenbach starting back for the Canucks. At center, he's checked by Robinson. Cleared it into the King zone. And Cahan knocked it on the boards. Puck is in the center ice area. Rayom and Lavoisier bumping in the corner in deep Vancouver territory. And they hold it against the boards for the faceoff. The score, Los Angeles 3, Vancouver 1, playing in Vancouver.
You're listening to the Vancouver Canucks NHL debut, played October 9th, 1970.
4 minutes, 18 seconds left in the hockey game. And a complete change for both clubs. There was nobody near Gilles Marat as they were lining up for the face-off. And he went to the ice heavily. And that got a reaction from the crowd. For the Kings, we have Joyel, Berry, and Byers. And for the Canucks, Corrigan is centering for Danny Johnson. And on the far wing, we have Cullen. Cullen, ordinarily a center, is now playing on the wing. He's up on the right side, gets it to center to Corrigan, back on the right wing to Cullen. Cullen goes into the corner, trying to center it, a loose puck in front of the LA goal. And it's kicked out over the line by Marat to Joyel. There's a hard shot. Gardner dropping it off to Barry Wilkins. Wilkins, a pass knocked down by Berry, recovered by Wilkins. Out ahead it goes to Corrigan, a loose puck. Corrigan over the line, but stepping in offside on the left wing was Danny Johnson. So they'll line up now for the face-off at the Kings blue line, just outside the line. Scoring in the hockey game, Lonsberry and Berry with 2 for L.A. Barry Wilkins getting the lone goal for Vancouver. Lundy goes to left wing, Boudria at center, and Pema on the right side. Hal Lako trying to get a working combination. Lonsberry drifts a shot from the Vancouver line. It's wide. Dale Talon flicked it to the right side. Pema coming out with Boudria. Boudria has it. He's in over the line, and Lundy was well in there, at least 2 strides ahead of Boudria. So offsides recently in this game, in this period, have been militating against the Vancouver Canucks. No doubt they're over anxious to get in there and to fire shots at DeJordy, trying to get back into the hockey game. They're down 2 goals. Noel Price to Cahan. Cahan ahead to Flett with Pulford. Flett takes the shot, handled easily by Gardner. Barry Wilkins lost it to Pulford. He centered and it's gobbled up by Lundy. Lundy down with Payman. Lundy shooting it, kicked out by DeJordy. Here's Talon with a shot. It's off a leg and bounces back into the center ice area. Wilkins playing it on the boards. It goes back to him. Now from his own line, on the right wing it goes. Payman doing some neat stick handling, staying with it, and finally lost it to Noel Price. Price just knocked it down the ice on the left wing, and that's going to be icing called against the Kings. And the score, Los Angeles 3, Vancouver 1. More NHL hockey in a moment.
You're listening to a rebroadcast of the Vancouver Canucks' inaugural NHL game against the Los Angeles Kings.
Vancouver with the defense in over the L.A. blue line for this face-off to the right of DeJordy. But the Kings get the draw. And since the first period, no question about it, L.A. has been the sharper hockey team. Vancouver probably had an edge in that first period. Now the Kings knock it into the center ice area. Murray Hall races back and gets it for Vancouver. Played it to an open wing. Larry Mickey raced up for the Kings and cleared it deep into Vancouver territory. Pat Quinn with his pass misses Mackey by a country mile. Hoganson back for it as it goes down the ice. And that is icing called against the Canucks. Less than 5 minutes left. 4 minutes and 57 seconds in this, the third period.
Danny, I think it's a case of the Vancouver Canucks now are trying so hard in front of their hometown fans that might be just trying too hard. They've tightened up a little bit, and they're going to have to loosen up to get back in.
I think that is the explanation. There's a shot from the point by Hoganson, a weak shot. Gardner stopped it easily. Robinson lost it on the wing to Murray Hall. Hall ahead to Kurtenbach with Mackey. Kurtenbach over the line, trying to get in front, leaves it for Quinn. His shot is wide. There's going to be a penalty here. A pile up to the side of the net. And there's going to be another interference call, this time against the Los Angeles Kings. Doug Robinson, the tall, rangy left-hander who shoots from the left side. He's going to the penalty bench. So this is a big opportunity for Vancouver.
Robinson for interference. 2 minutes. The time 15:24.
15:24. The time in the third period. Robinson of the Kings off for interference. And we have Cullen, who had these great years with Minnesota. He's going to be on the power play for Vancouver along with Mackey. They have Wilkins out there. Now they decide to make some changes. Callan, Lundy, Cullen. Barry Wilkins stays out. Pulford, the veteran, is facing off for the Kings. He gets the draw, trying to clear it down the ice. It goes in among the spectators. The other player on the power play for Vancouver is Corrigan. Pulford and Lonsberry up front for the Kings. On defense, we have Price and Cahan. So now we're all set for the face-off once again to the left of DeJordy. Corrigan facing off against Pulford. In the face-off, it goes to the corner. Cullen getting it back to the point to Wilkins. He feeds it in front. Now it's knocked down by Corrigan. Back to the line. Wilkins over to Lundy. Lundy back to Talon. Talon back into Lundy. Here's Lundy getting right in front of Corrigan. Off his stick, a loose puck. The net is open on the far side as DeJordy moved to his left. But Vancouver couldn't come up with it, and Pulford flicked it down the ice. But the Canucks were passing that puck around well on that power play effort inside the Kings blue line. Now they're deep in their own zone getting organized. Wilkins leading a 5-man attack ahead to Talon. He's poke-checked at the line by Price. Lundy circles back to his own blue line. A left wing pass to Talon in over the L.A. line. He lost it, and Cahan knocked it to center. In the penalty, we now have exactly 1 minute remaining, 3:36 left in the game. Corrigan at the line with Cullen, and it's offside against Vancouver. And more changes coming up.
Danny, I'm going to scoot down to the Vancouver Canucks dressing room because we interview the Vancouver Canucks star of the night. I just want to say, sitting next to you during this broadcast has been a complete pleasure. Listening to you over the years, knowing you through Maple Leaf Gardens just when you're getting started. It's just a pleasure to sit beside a real pro, and you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, Al. There's a long shot by Talon. The rebound picked up in front of DeJordy by Hoganson, and he rolls it back down the ice. 42 seconds left in the penalty. Barry Wilkins, he has scored the only goal for Vancouver, cleared it up to Talon. Talon on the right side to Murray Hall into Los Angeles territory. It comes to the side of the net. There's a loose puck and a quick shot there by Mackey. From a sharp angle, he was in close, and DeJordy, as the good goalie should do, moved over there and cut off the angle completely. Robinson getting a bit anxious down there on the penalty bench, looking at the clock. He still has 26 seconds to serve. With the proviso, of course, there is no goal. If a goal is scored, he'll come right back on. Pulford is now facing off against Kurtenbach. Puck is loose. Murat shoots it down the ice. Murat has been strong tonight on that L.A. defense. The Canucks back quickly after it. Talon in behind his goalie Gardner. He hands it off to Kurtenbach. Kurtenbach with Mackey and Hall over the line. Kurtenbach in center shoots it in. DeJordy got it off the boards, knocked it to the right wing. Now Hoganson clearing it ahead. Robinson is back on just as L.A. knocked it down the ice. And the Kings are called for icing with 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the hockey game. The score, Los Angeles 3, Vancouver 1. This is Canucks hockey from Vancouver. Face-off coming up to the right of DeJordy. We have Boudria, Lundy, Paiement, Rayom, and Sly for the Canucks. Boudria couldn't get his shot away. Here's Byers coming down with Joel over the line. Byers shooting it in there, and Rayom knocked it off to the wing. Lundy couldn't pick it up on the fly. Now, here's Rayom with it. He goes to center, lost to Joel, back in for L.A. on the left side. A weak shot. Gardner knocked it back into the corner. Joel trying to get it to center it, and he's pinned in on the boards by Darryl Sly. 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the game. And time becoming a very, very important factor as far as the Vancouver Canucks are concerned. Labossiere goes to center against Boudria. Marat and Hoganson playing up on the Vancouver line. There's a shot by Robinson, stopped by Gardner. Labossiere trying to get it clear. Lundy over for Boudria. Boudria hitting the L.A. line, feeds it in there, and it's deflected to the corner, but it was again nullified, that rush by Vancouver on the offside, and there's no question about it. They're very, very anxious, and that is hurting their play. 1:40 left. Rayom slides a pass at his own line over to Sly to Boudria. Boudria clears it into the corner to the left of DeJordy. Doug Robinson playing it on the boards for Mickey. It's loose, knocked to the line. Canucks trying to keep it in. Boudria does, and then Mickey of L.A. knocked it down into the center ice area. Paiement couldn't get anywhere. Darryl Sly from the Vancouver blue line goes across the L.A. line, and again that offside called against Vancouver. So that'll be the signal now with this stoppage in play for coaches Regan and Leko to send out new players, fresh players. I should imagine the toll, the physical toll, is being exacted out there. It's warm in this building tonight. And for each team, this is the first game under regular fire of competition. They've had exhibition games, but there's nothing like the real thing. Any athlete will tell you that. Much more pressure, of course, too. Noel Price clears it down into Vancouver territory. Less than a minute remaining. There's Pat Quinn over to Gary Doak. Doak goes to center. He shoots it to the corner. The Canucks race in after it. Cullen goes to the far side. He's bumped out of the play by Price. Lonsberry comes up with it. Lonsberry out over the line at center. Cutting in on the right side across the Vancouver line. Lobbed that backhand shot. Gardner hands it off to Cullen. There's a pass, Corrigan, ahead to Danny Johnson. Johnson is trying to cut in front. He still has it. Fails to roll it in front. Fulford flipped it down and high, and it hit a stick of a L.A. player on the bench at the Los Angeles blue line. So the face-off will be in deep Los Angeles territory. 19 seconds left. Next game here at the Coliseum, Sunday afternoon, Toronto Maple Leafs and the Vancouver Canucks. Corrigan facing off against Labossiere, but Bob Barry, who has scored 2 goals tonight, skated out of position. Now back at the point. Doak fails to hold it in against Barry. Pat Quinn at the Vancouver line, over on the right wing to Doak. Doak shooting it down the ice. and it's called for icing. Doak shot it from his side of the center red line, and we just have 5 seconds. So it's going to be a tough assignment for Vancouver to get down into shooting range at DeJordy with just the 5 seconds left. Ashford, the linesman, lining them up for the face-off. Cullen against Labossiere. Puck is dropped back. It comes to the point to Hoganson. Instead of taking the shot, he idles out to center. The game is over, and that's the final whistle. The score, Los Angeles 3, Vancouver 1. A summary in a moment.